2025 was the year when cinema finally stopped playing it safe. Yes, today I'm going to be counting down my top favorite movies of 2025 and I'll also break down why it might work for you. But we won't just be stopping over there. I'll be pairing each movie with a book that carries the similar DNA. This video might be your ultimate guide to your next favorite watch or maybe your next favorite read. First up is Ballerina. Now look, I am not a big fan of action. I may be the first one who's not very much up for the bang bang punch punch movie. But this movie, it actually made me care. The plot of this movie might be on a diet, but the fight scenes, pure art. Ana de Armas not only looks like $1 million, but she spent months learning the Brazilian art of jiu-jitsu so that she could, kind of kick away guys twice her size across the room. She did almost all her own stunts, and including this epic scene with a literal flamethrower where she kind of torched more stuntmen than any hero in cinema. It's the ultimate revenge thriller for anyone who wants to watch a badass female lead who has stopped playing nice. If you're craving the same calculated chaos energy, pick up the Mindf series by St. Abby. It features the lead character Lana. I have spoken about her in also my Unhinged Women video. This character is so unhinged. You're gonna love her so much. She'll make it look like most movie villains, like as if they're just playing tag. Both the movie and the book, they take this girl next door trope, set it on fire, and then they give you a hyper capable woman who's just crossing off names of a systematic list. It's dark, it's fast, and it also captures this paint the town red kind of vibe that makes the movie also so addicting. Next up we have Final Destination Bloodlines. I usually buy the 6th franchise of a movie, it just feels like it's milking the cow. But Bloodlines is completely different. This movie feels surprisingly fresh, and it also kind of dives deep into the nostalgia on why a new family might be on death's hit list. If you're in for the gore, you are going to have a buffet. There's this MRI machine scene, and that will make you question your choices every time you visit the doctor again. It's packed with Easter eggs for the fans. And you remember those log trucks, those that gave us PTSD throughout our childhood? Yes, they are back. If you want a fun, inventive horror drive that kind of makes this cheating the death vibe kind of feel fresh again, this movie is for you. For a book that captures the same Nowhere is Safe terror, you want to pick up the book called When the Wolf Comes Home by Nat Cassidy. If you're drawing parallel to the movie, this invisible force of death in this book is kind of transformed into a young boy whose every fear kind of turns into reality. And let's just say his imagination is way more twistier than yours. Much like the movie's Cursed Bloodline, the book explores how terror can be inherited like a bad family recipe, leading to scenes of creative butchery that feel as inventive and as gory as Final Destination's kill. Next up is Together. Now, if you think you want more personal space in a relationship, watching this movie will want to make you want to move away to an entirely different planet. This movie is about a couple who moves to countryside to connect, but there they encounter a weird, unknowable force. What makes this movie weirder and even more meta is the lead is played by Dave Franco and Alison Brie, who are a real-life couple. These two committed so much to the characters that to shoot this movie, they literally had to take bathroom breaks together to get into the characters. It's gross, it's darkly hilarious, and it uses Spice Girls to become one in a context that will want to make you gag every time you hear the song next. For a literary twin that captures this vibe of physical obsession, you need to read this masterpiece of a body horror, which is a manga, Uzumaki by Junji Ito. While the movie focuses on a relationship, this book is about an entire town kind of plagued by these weird spirals and shapes that makes human bodies bend in a way that seems physically impossible. logic defying. If the unsettling physical closeness in the movie gave you the creeps and you don't want to see relationships or close couples the same way, this book, on the other hand, will make sure that you don't see spirals the same way ever again. Next up is Mickey 17, directed by Bong Joon-ho. This movie is kind of the most relatable movie I have seen when it comes to work and work-life balance, even though it's kind of set in this ice colony in space. Robert Pattinson plays the role of an expendable, and this is basically an employee whose entire job is just to die and then get reprinted out as a clone until he finishes a task. It's kind of like The Office, but like if HR could legally murder you for budget cuts. A technical detail that makes this movie work so well is that Pattinson plays the role of both Mickey 17 and Mickey 18, and these are two very different characters. And he kind of has like two different voices so that these two characters feel very different from each other and the movie feels very real. It's a satire and it kind of will resonate with anyone who has ever felt that in work life they are just a number in the spreadsheet. After watching this movie, if you are craving a book that captures the absurdity of a workplace, you need to pick up Several People Are Typing. It's a novel entirely told through Slack messages, and it's when an employee's soul kind of gets sucked into a company's internal server. Much like the movie, it kind of captures or bangs on the same idea that a company or corporate kind of sees your physical body as just optional. It's funny, it's surreal, and it captures the same feeling of being a replaceable cog in a very weird machine. And the last one for today is F1. Now this is just not a racing movie, it's a masterpiece in character redemption. The story follows Sonny Hayes, who is like 1960 prodigy, F1 prodigy, and whose career ended brutally in a crash. But then he gets dragged back into after 30 years to save a failing team. The director, Joseph Kosinski, he refused to use green screens because he believed fake driving will lead to fake acting. To get those real micro expressions, like, how your face would actually vibrate or react when you hit a curve in a fast-moving car, Brad Pitt had to be actually in that car. To capture it, Sony even invented a camera that was small enough to fit into the cockpit, but it could still handle the G-forces. Just imagine the level of dedication. Keeping the way the movie looks on screen, which is brilliant, the story itself is such a gorgeous tale of a man who refuses to let a birth certificate dictate his career. For an unputdownable read with the same grit of a character that kind of comes out of retirement and blows the whole world away with their talent, you have to pick up Carrie Soto is Back by Taylor Jenkins Reid. Carrie is a retired tennis coach who decides to come back for a last season to kind of preserve her record of being the best against a rival who is much younger, much faster, and kind of breathing down her neck. It has the same ruthless competitive spirit and this unfinished business kind of drama that made the movie work as well. Even if you know absolutely zero about tennis, this book will still hit you very hard. Similarly, like how you need to have known anything about F1 to capture the brilliance of that movie. Both the protagonists brilliantly portray that age is just a number. Now this just wraps up part 1. I have some serious heavy hitters in part 2. If any of these movies hit that specific nerve for you, go pick up that book Pairings I mentioned. Part 2 will be coming up soon. See you in the next one. Bye bye. Good night. Shubhratri.